What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here from DataDash, and hope you guys are having a fantastic day wherever you are, because in today's sponsored review, I want to spend some time to talk about the biggest infrastructure project we've seen yet in the crypto space when it comes to the narrative of Web3 gaming. One in which I genuinely believe has a chance to take Web3 gaming from being this kind of niche segment of the crypto industry into becoming a large established segment of the broader gaming industry. Today, we're talking about none other than Portal. Now, I not only want to spend some time to fundamentally talk about what Portal is all about and how it's aiming to become the largest publisher in the Web3 gaming space, creating an all-in-one platform, bringing in a variety of fractionalized Web3 experiences in the Web3 gaming space into one seamless experience, making it extremely simple for the user to interact with these games, and providing tools not only for users but also developers and new games to deploy through its platform. But beyond all of that, we need to talk about how strong the launch has been out the gate for the project itself. Portal had the biggest Binance Launchpool event we've seen in history, with over $8.6 billion, that's right, $8.6 billion of combined capital and BNB and FDUSD being staked on the Launchpool in order to participate in the raise. So this is a huge event here. This is the biggest Launchpool event we've seen on Binance. So it speaks volumes about how the market is getting really excited about what the project is aiming to achieve. So let's go ahead and just try to understand from a high-level overview what, in this case, Portal is aiming to achieve. So essentially, if we take a look at Web3 gaming from a kind of high-level overview versus the traditional gaming industry, there's a lot of issues that exist in Web3 gaming. And you guys have heard me be a clear critic of it when I talk about the narrative. The problem with Web3 gaming, beyond even developing impactful content and games that people want to play, is actually having a streamlined experience so that those games can go viral and people have a clean user experience when interacting with them. If you think about gaming in the world today outside of Web3, we think about traditional Web2 gaming for that matter, on PCs or on Xbox or PlayStation or on the Nintendo Wii. Generally speaking, you are going to have fixed stores where you can essentially participate in purchasing games, or platforms where you can have subscription services to access a whole wide array of games that you can add to your library and experience from one single place. This is a staple, essential, in order to get gaming to the mainstream. It's the same on mobile gaming as well, the App Store. But beyond that as well, having a streamlined platform where you have a streamlined wallet, a streamlined access to a variety of different in-game assets through one streamlined currency, these are the type of dynamic features that are even further required in Web3 when it comes to tapping into the kind of value that tokenization and NFTs can really bring. So these are components that may not even be relevant in Web2, but are essential in Web3 and really bring about the value of it. But in fractionalized ecosystems, it's simply not going to work. That's why here within Portal Gaming, they're aiming to do exactly that. By building a streamlined wallet, a streamlined experience where through one platform, you're able to interact with a whole range of different titles. So you can streamline the experience and get to playing the games that you want to play, purchasing in-game items, by doing payments with the native token Portal, and outside of that as well, being able to access a whole wide array of different games. Over 200 already out the gate as the platform's launching. So this to me is really exciting. It seems like the professionalization of Web3 gaming that has been so desperately missing over the past few years, while we've even had success stories like Axie Infinity, as well as a whole range of different things out there like Sandbox and Decentraland. But there's already a ton of games out the gate that are going to be integrated into the platform, some of which you might already be familiar with, like Pixelmon, Parallel, which is one I followed as well for some time, DeFi Kingdom, as well as Space Nation, and so many other countless titles that are going to be launching through the platform. So again, generally speaking, we understand here the value proposition of having this publisher platform. It's very similar to Steam or the Xbox Store, where essentially you can have one streamlined place to access all of these, or the Epic Games platform, right? We want to be able to have something like this for Web3. And it's not only important for streamlining of the user experience, but I also think in order to bring the next wave of valuable experiences into Web3, which, if we're being honest here, I think is desperately needed in a lot of sense. We need that killer AAA title. We're going to need some really great indie titles to get people hooked in and bringing them in to the ecosystem. Well, essentially through Portal, they're focused on developers as well. And I think this is probably just as big of a component here versus the user experience. And the reason I echo this here is because as someone who's not only gamed for a long period of time, but also who wanted to do game development well over a decade ago, I understand a lot of the pain points to game development, and I also understand a lot when it comes to getting games out there. And I think that a Web3 native publishing platform like Portal is probably one of the best when it comes to getting games out there. Because you can not only obviously onboard people through having a streamlined integration of their native wallet and the infrastructure around the user experience that's going to be vital in order to have people utilize your game from one of the biggest platforms, ideally long term. But outside of that as well, being able to have the network of creators and streamers that'll be supporting Portal-based games, and also along with that as well, all the different resources and tools that may come as well from the governance system long term. Being able to potentially receive grants and funding for early stage projects on really novel and exciting concepts that the Portal community wants to support, and so much more. These are the kind of things that I really believe can have a sharp level of success for the project long term, and allow for us to not only get people who are obviously in the Web3 space, but also get people as well in the outer space. This is another big thing that Portal Gaming is doing that I think is really important. A lot of Web3 games have been targeted towards, well, the obvious target market to start with, which is Web3 natives. And that's okay. I'm totally up for that. There are plenty of Web3 natives out there. However, there is a much larger market, 99% of the market out there, that has still not been tapped into. And those are non-DeFi or non-Web3 natives, people who are not familiar with crypto and all these key terms we utilize. They essentially are familiar with gaming, but they don't know about the world of Web3 gaming. And there are a ton of different initiatives that the project has already done in order to bring those people in. They're doing tournaments and other different types of business development and ecosystem development, like in games like Dota 2, where they did the Dota 2 International event. This is giving more publicity to Portal as a platform, giving people in-game collectibles within Dota 2 that interest them and get them involved within the Portal ecosystem. So there's stuff like this that I think is the kind of ecosystem development we have yet to see in the crypto space that I think signifies the essential professionalism and the kind of aim at getting a broader audience into the Web3 space and giving Portal that ability to become kind of the dominant platform for publishing on Web3 gaming. As we get more and more titles entering into the space, this could be the central hub for a lot of new projects to launch and for a lot of new games to be played by new users. Outside of this as well, I think it's important to understand where the Portal token plays into all this, because at the end of the day here, guys, this is a big, broad vision here. The Portal token, though, plays a really key component in the overall vision of what Portal aims to achieve as a publishing platform. And it aims to do this by essentially serving as a staking token that's going to allow you to get access to early stage projects that will launch through Portal, but along with that as well, being able to access a whole range of different things like NFT mints and drops on the most hyped games out there in the market. So this is really important stuff here. If you guys want to learn more about that, I definitely recommend you guys check out the overall Portal documentation around the token itself. There's some resources as well that you can find on the website that talk a little bit more about Portal as a gaming token, but it'll give you a lot of the details about different things you can utilize it for. But overall, the main thing here is that it could very well serve as the native currency across a whole range of different games. This is another big pain point when it comes to Web3 gaming, that as we're going to be expanding here and people want to actually have a currency that they can use cross-game in order to purchase intellectual property in the game, like digital collectibles and NFTs, or being able to purchase experiences or different types of items within the game, it's difficult when you have fractionalized currencies transacting from one game to another. In order to have a streamlined experience, having one native currency makes a lot of sense here. Having one, essentially international wide currency that you can utilize across a whole range of different games here, I think is really exciting. And it kind of embeds, again, projects that are being deployed within the Portal ecosystem to be tied back into the ecosystem and create this positive feedback loop. So again, I think that the thinking is there when it comes to the project, and I think long term that's going to be a really big benefit for it. But one of the big things I wanted to dive into as well is also the Launchpad projects. Now, this to me is where, again, you're going to start getting a lot of leverage here if Portal continues to really pick up and maintain this kind of dominance as the publisher platform, because so long as Portal in this case remains as a strong player in the ecosystem, it's going to be a central hub for some of the best projects to come for its Launchpad platform. Right? So there's essentially going to be a Portal Launchpad where new gaming projects can raise, as we discussed earlier, in order to get that initial support for new ideas. And one of those projects that's coming to the forefront is Somo. Now, Somo has been called by many people not only one of the more anticipated Web3 gaming launches of this year in 2024, but beyond that as well, it's got, essentially speaking, all of the right formulas to succeed that I think very much play on potentially being the kind of Pokemon of Web3. And I know a lot of us know from the wild success of Pokemon Go, also just Pokemon as a franchise, that a kind of digital collectibles market of these different pets could be really huge long term. I've definitely been looking for a game like this for some time. And again, while it is true that with Portal and a lot of these things, it's relatively early stage here, we're going to have to see these things come live in the market. You guys are essentially finding these projects in the earlier stages here. So I think that this is really exciting here to see Portal kind of just getting the initial stages here, launching out there in the market, bringing in a lot of titles, streamlining the user experience, and already seeing some pretty big games and content creators coming out there and deploying their projects, making a bet on the Portal ecosystem through its Launchpad. So these are some key things to run through when it comes to Portal as a project. But overall, I think the big thing that you guys really should keep in mind is that if Web3 gaming is to succeed long term, we are going to need a key publisher platform. I think that there are a lot of great Web3 games out there. We've talked about many on this channel before, Crixivia being one. There's been a whole range of other ones that I've kind of kept on my radar, and it's been getting better and better over time. It used to be an issue that there was the content side when it comes to Web3, and I think that that's getting fixed now with Superfarm as well. There's a whole range of new games coming out there. With being these platforms that are getting new titles out there. But it's going to be required that there's a central platform for these games to be accessed from one single point, one single currency, one single ability to be able to play all these different things, manage your digital collectibles. It's a lot to manage and really meet to as a vision. So I think it's an ambitious one, and one of which I think you guys should definitely check out at Portal's website. Take some time to look through it, learn about the project. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. If you find the vision for Portal exciting, definitely drop a like and leave a comment as to what you believe could happen with Web3 gaming now that we've got a platform like Portal at the forefront. Thanks so much, guys, for always as tuning in. If you guys enjoyed the video again, consider dropping a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone.